Hi, I'm Sarah Bastian. I'm 17 years old. I'm 5'5", I think, and I live in Hiawassee, Georgia. So I'm going to tell the story of a field trip I went on in 6th grade. So it was the entire 6th grade, and we were going to Atlanta to see a history museum called the Fern Bank. And so it was really cool. The whole goal was to go to the museum and then get back before the buses left at school so that everybody could get home. You know, everything would be good. So towards the end of this trip, I saw this big fuzzy creature. It was sort of like a prehistoric creature, and for some reason it reminded me, I thought of my brother, and I wanted to like take a picture and send it to him for some reason. I don't know why. So I kind of stayed back a little bit while my group kept going so that I could get this picture. And then once I got it, I did not see my group at all, so I was lost for a little bit, kind of wandered around, panicking a lot, until eventually a teacher found me and was like rushing me, like, come on, we gotta get to the bus. And so I was the last person to get on the bus to get back to school, but we left later than was intended, so because of me, everybody missed the bus and had to call their parents to get them, and I got a good scolding. So yeah, that's my story.
Hey, I'm Alice Bethea. I'm from Home Mills, North Carolina. I'm 17. I'm 5'8", 205 pounds. Will whoop your ass, and you ain't gonna do a damn thing about it. First of all, let me tell you this, man. There's a story, not a regular story. No, hell no. Fuck regular. There's a story about a man. He didn't give a damn about anything. Didn't give a damn what you said. Didn't give a damn what you thought. Hell no. Bump that. He couldn't have a regular job. Nah, he couldn't have a regular job. If he had a regular job, he would go crazy. He couldn't walk past the secretary every damn day to his cubicle. The crusty ass secretary who's probably having sex with the boss just to keep her job. Hell no. He had to be an entertainer, and let me tell you why he had to be an entertainer. Wait, what? Oh, I thought you told me to hold on. My bad. I'm so sorry. All right. Anyways. He had to be an entertainer. He had to. Instead of kissing ass and making coffee, he kicked ass and made a name. Whether if it was in a 24 by 24 foot ring or if it was in a movie, he didn't give a damn about it. And if you had something to say, he'd tell you this. He said, "Hey, make a fist. Now put it over your mouth. All those negative things you have to say, you can shove it straight up your punk ass." And let me tell you one thing. Piss on third, piss on second. He's making his way to the mountaintop, and if you're on, you better have a damn parachute because he's kicking your ass off. And you say to yourself, man, why the hell haven't I seen this guy yet? Trick question, you already have, you're looking at him.
Nice, man.
I'm from Home Mills, North Carolina. I'm 17. I'm 5'8" and 205 pounds. If I can whoop your ass and you ain't gonna do a damn thing about it. Now I'm about to tell you a story about a man who didn't give a damn what anybody had to say or a damn about what anybody had to think. He couldn't have a regular job, nah. He couldn't sit in a cubicle and talk to people he didn't even want to be next to. He couldn't walk past the damn ugly-ass, crusty-ass secretary every damn day who's probably having sex with the boss just to keep her job. No, he couldn't do that. He had to be an entertainer. He had to. There's no doubt about it. Whether if it was a 20 by 20 foot ring or if it was in a box, if it was in a movie. He couldn't take no breaks, nah. The only thing he broke was records and box office numbers. Piss on third, piss on second. He's climbing his way up to the mountaintop. And if you're on top, you better have a parachute because he's kicking your ass off. And if you got something to say about that, well, come on, you can say it to me, and I'll just tell you one thing. You can take all those words, all that negative stuff you're talking, ball it in the fist, and shove it straight up your punk ass. And you know one thing about it, though? He didn't do it for the money. Nah, he didn't do it for the money. He didn't do it for the fame. He did it for the people. The people that's sitting on their chairs right now thinking, oh, I'm not going to be nothing in life. He used to think the same damn thing, but not anymore. Now he's entertaining billions, and when I mean billions of people around the world. And you say to yourself, who the hell is this guy? I never seen him. Trick question. You're looking at him right now.
Hi, my name is Grace Blizzard. I'm 15, and I live in Newport, North Carolina. So I have a story for you. So the person who had my phone number before me had a lot of debt and money problems, and she applied for a lot of loans. So when I got my phone number, she switched her phone number, and I now have it. So all the time I get these calls from random people all over, like different countries, all kinds of things. So I have this character, his name is Mustafa Al-Zakari, and I pick up the phone and I say, "Hello, this Mustafa, what you want?" And 9 times out of 10, they hang up because, like, who wouldn't hang up, honestly? But sometimes they'll keep going. So I get this call from India, and I'm like, "Hello, this Mustafa, who dis, what you want?" And I just hear this voice, "Hello, baby, I missed you too." And I was like, "My name Mustafa, baby, what you want?" And he's like, "Baby, yes, I missed you too." So he thought, this man thought that "hello, my name Mustafa" was "hello, baby, I miss you." And so I'm sitting in the car with my mother, like crying, because this man just said, "Hello, baby, I miss you too." Crying, and my mom is just looking at me, like I'm trying not to break character from this made up man I've made. Yeah, and so my mom is just looking at me and she's like, "God help us all. Thank you."
My name's Tal Chatterjee. I'm 16, 5'7", and I live in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. And oh my god, let me just tell you. I go to this camp called Kanata, and it's like a typical North Carolina kind of camp. It's like canoeing and sailing and like riflery and whatever. So I had never taken a riflery class and I never shot a gun. I'm like, okay, cool, like I live here, why not? So I go and like it's really intimidating because I'm like the youngest person there and I'm like the only girl, and it's like, and so they go over the rules and all that, and one of the rules is, you know, cease fire, like you don't shoot, whatever, and if you do shoot, like there could be reasons they say cease fire. So one of them is if an animal goes in the range and they don't want to hit targets. So we were shooting, and this is my first time. We're like lying down because like I kick back, whatever. I don't hear ceasefire because this counselor is very, very like soft. That was on him. Let's be real. So, okay, so we're shooting these tiny like dinosaurs, and like when you shoot them, like powder comes out, and it's like really cool and whatever. And so I don't hear ceasefire. I'm aiming for the dinosaurs. The first time I hit something, it's not a dinosaur, it's a dragonfly. One of the rules was you have to eat anything that you shoot, and I thought it was a joke, honestly, like it's a dragonfly, like you could step on that. I mean, like, no, I love dragonflies, I'm a vegetarian, like because of that, like, whatever. They're like, okay, you have to eat it. Boy. And like, the thing was, like it didn't even go all the way, like it only clipped some of it off, so it was still moving, and like I felt so bad, and okay, they just kind of put it in my mouth, on my tongue. It's like this. Like it was like sizable, my dude. And down it went. Like I literally, it took me like 2 minutes, and it like you could taste the blood, and it was like twitching on the way down. It was a no. Like it was trying to fly, and I felt so bad. Like I named him Hermit, and like he's dead. Like Hermit's dead, dude. So yeah, now I'm part dragonfly. It's like Spider-Man, only not as badass. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Dennis Cox. I am 5'6". I'm from Rock Hill, South Carolina, and I'm 15. And this story is pretty wild. So this kind of requires a little bit of backstory. Earlier this year, these kids at my school kept pranking this kid in my neighborhood, right? Like egging his house and stuff. And so I didn't know this at the time. So it was like, I don't know, 3 months later, it was over Christmas break. And I had a few friends over, like 8, and we were just walking around the neighborhood. I don't remember exactly what we were doing, just talking. And we walked by this kid's house. And yeah, so we didn't know everything that had happened, but his mom was on high alert. And she didn't know who was doing it, so she just assumed it was us. We didn't know. So she's, I figured this out later, she's in the bushes, all right? She's like looking at us while we're walking around. And so it's like late at night, and these like 2 Chevy Tahoes pull up, and somebody's like, you know, those are the cops. I was like, no, they're not. And then they turn the lights on, so I was like, oh yeah, those are the cops. And so the cops are coming up. This lady pops out of the bushes, and she starts screaming at us, and all this stuff's happening. But we know, like, we've not done anything, so we did what everybody else would do, and we ran. So we're running through, like, behind all these houses, and my friends are really tired. And so we get back to my house, and they're like, they didn't want to go to sleep, but they needed it. So they're super paranoid, and so they spent the entire rest of the night and then 6 hours of the next day in my house on the ground, and they would not stand up because they thought that the cops were outside in the windows. Now they won't come back to my house.
Good. Hi, I'm Logan Funderburg. I am 15 years old. I am 5'8", and I'm represented by Kids Act Talent. So I'm supposed to tell a story, and I got a lot, but I chose this one because I love the ocean. So I love surfing. I'm a big surfer dude. So I went surfing one day and with a friend, and we went out really far because in Mexico you have to paddle out like 2 miles to go and catch the waves. So we paddled out and we got caught by the rip current, and the rip current pulled us farther out to we were like 5 miles out, and we saw sharks, and they were like coming towards us. And so we were scared, so we got on our longboards, and we just sat on our longboards for like 2 hours straight. And there were sharks around us, and turns out a Navy boat, like a small Navy boat, came rolling up and saw us. And we got picked up by the Navy, and they were asking us what we were doing out, and we were like, well, we went surfing, and we saw sharks, and so we got pulled back farther out, and the whole thing. So we got taken back to the naval base and questioned, and because apparently we were in naval territory, and so then they drove us home, and that was the end of that. So
All right. Hello, my name is Dalen Johnson. I am 18 years old, and I am from Sacramento, California, and I am 4'11" from our height. Okay, so I have a story. One time, I was with my friend. We were going to this Harry Potter ball, and it was called the Yule Ball, and we were having a good time. We went there, we had a good time, and we were partying, and at the end of the dance, I had a shawl, and apparently I was really tired and didn't really care, and I took somebody's jacket by accident, and I went home. And then my friend was like, hey, Dalen, where's your shawl? Where's your little cape thing? You're wearing a jacket. That's someone's jacket that you're wearing. And I said, oh, well, it's mine now. But it was oversized because I was really short. So, yeah, a kid went home without his jacket. And I think we returned it though. So that was the good thing. So that's my story.
I'm Tyler Jung, I'm 16 years old, 5'11", and I'm from Cottage Grove, Wisconsin. So I play soccer at my school, and I've been playing JV freshman and sophomore year, except at halfway through my sophomore year season, all of the varsity forwards were injured, so I had to step in. And my first game, it was going well. First half we were losing 1-2, and then the last 10 minutes of the game, I got put back in, and I was like, this is my time to shine, I gotta get this last goal in. So someone sends in a through ball, and I'm running towards it, and I see the goalie coming at the same time, but I'm thinking that I'm faster than him. So then, I have tunnel vision on the ball now, and then people are yelling me on the side to slow down, but I'm like, you guys don't know me, I got this. So then the goalie grabs the ball right as I'm about to kick it, and then I trip over the ball, and then I hit his head with right there, and then he gets a concussion. And then I fell, I didn't get hurt. So then he got taken off, I got a yellow card. And that was my first varsity experience.
Hi, I'm Zoe Kane. I'm from Concord, Massachusetts. I'm 17 years old, and I'm 5'3½". So I was in a production of Matchmaker at my school, and there's 4 acts in the play, and it was right after my exit in the 3rd act, and I had 10 minutes to get on for the 4th act. And I'm backstage, and we had those Martinelli's sparkling apple cider to replace champagne, and there was just the last sip left in the bottle. And my friend and I both saw it, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have it. So I go to take a sip, and I start putting it in my mouth, and he goes, no, I want it. So he pulled the bottle, but it happened to catch my tooth. So it took out about half of my tooth, and I didn't really realize until I felt pain and a little bit of blood. So I like put myself together. I kind of cried a little bit just like from shock at seeing that I didn't have half of my tooth. And then my scene partner, who I realized I had to go on stage in like 2 minutes, like wiped the tears off of my face. And we ran back out on stage, and he just looks at me, and he like, we were trying not to break because he was giggling because like, well, I didn't have half of my tooth and I looked like some random hillbilly, I guess. But like, luckily no one noticed in the audience because I asked people afterwards. But my dad's the director at my high school. He teaches theater there. So he came backstage like after the show was over, and he like had heard that I was missing half of my tooth, and it was a very awkward encounter with the boy and my dad. But yeah, I survived. We're good now.
Hi, I'm Emily Cohn. I'm 16 and I'm 5'7", and I live in Mint Hill, North Carolina. So my story is pretty much I'm the Cupid of my friend group. In other words, I set everyone up and I stay lonely forever. And I set my best friend up with her now boyfriend, but both of their parents don't know. So whenever they hang out, it's kind of a problem because they need to have someone else there so their parents don't think they're gonna do anything, yet they still do stuff. So we'll go into his backyard and through the woods, and there's this concrete like lake area, and we walk through, and we are so deep into the woods we're near the highway, which is 5 minutes from his house. And then he sets up a hammock. I chill in the hammock, they go down a couple more minutes, and they have makeoutville, and it's great. So I got bored, and I'm on my phone, and I'm like, I want to screw with them. So I go on my phone, I pull up a song, and I sing along, and I scream, all by myself. My friend comes running and flips me out of the hammock, and I roll down the hill. It was kind of great. And then we walk back, and I'm covered in water, and my mom's kind of like, what happened? And I'm like, I'm lonely. And that's it.
Hi, I'm Michaela Lazaro. I'm 16 years old. I'm 5'4", and I currently live in Summerfield, North Carolina. And so my story is, I was with friends from summer camp in California, and we decided to go to a beach that's pretty close to Newport Beach, and it was really close to where my friend Perry lived. And so whenever we go to the beach, we always want to see who can get out to the buoy first. And if you don't know what the buoy is, it's like the line where you can't cross and boats can't cross over. And so we decided to swim out to the buoy, and we actually went past the buoy, which we're really not supposed to do, but it was good for the most part. And then we started feeling like what we thought was a current, but I went under the water and I opened up my eyes and there was like a 5-foot shark. And there were like people trying to call us in like from like the shoreline, like, hey, you're really not supposed to go out there. So we swam back over to like the rescue boat. And we were like, hey, can you like bring us back to shore? Because we were really winded. It was like a long swim. And this guy just sits there and he looks at us and he's like, are you being attacked by a shark? And we're like, no. And he's like, are you drowning? And we're like, no. And he's like, then swim back. And I'm like, fine, I will. And so once we got back to the shore, like everybody was out of the water. And as it turns out, we were actually swimming in shark-infested waters where there was a shark attack the other day and a guy died. Unfortunately, I did not, but you know, that's my story.
Okay, hi, my name is Erica McClure. I live in Boone, North Carolina, and I'm 5'8". So my story is, okay, there's a game we would play at my school. It's called the dart game. What you do is you make eye contact and go, and then they're dart and they have to fall. And so we kind of would steal their shoes when that happened. And I'd gotten this guy a few times this day. His name is Andrew. And so then he got me, took my shoe, ran in the guy's bathroom, and I'm like, Andrew, you think that'll stop me? Kicked down the door. And then there's the ROTC, like, head guy. And he's like, young lady, this is the boys' bathroom. And I'm like, oh shit. So I like run outside and climb a tree. And the ROTC captain, whatever, he like walked around the area looking for me for like 2 minutes. But he didn't find me. So I'm still good. And that's my story.
Hi, I'm Darby McDonough. I'm 17 years old. I'm 5'5", and I'm from Cary, Illinois. So I have a kiss cam story. I was at Branson, Missouri watching the Haygoods, which is like a local band and group there. They've got It's all brothers and then one sister. So I'm there with a group of friends, and one of my best friends, Durs, he's sitting next to me, and he's got a girlfriend. So he turns to me while the kiss cam segment is starting, and he's like, dude, we're not kissing. And I'm like, I know. So we're just sitting there, and it's a lot of old couples like giving each other pecks. It was really cute. And then all of a sudden I look, and the kiss cam camera is starting to get really close, and then it's on me. And I'm looking at myself on the screen, and I'm looking at him like, oh my gosh. So I'm ducking around, and it keeps following me. So finally, I look straight at it, and then this speech bubble appears, and it's like, Michael is so hot. So I was so confused, and then it turns out Michael is one of the band members. He's like the most popular one. So I got out of kissing my best friend, which was a plus. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Jonathan Melton. I am 5'4", and I am currently living in Concord, North Carolina. So I'm going to tell you a story about how I almost got arrested. In Concord, there's a really historical, really pretty downtown area. And I was down there with my friends after we had a show at the community theater. And we went to go get ice cream, but my friend, Abby, wanted to get a picture on the fire escape before she could, before we went to go get ice cream, because, you know, cool pictures, yay. And so she got on the fire escape, and I went to get to take a picture of her. And this lady from the apothecary next door came over and was yelling at us. We couldn't really tell what she was saying because she was talking so fast. And then she was like, fine, I'm calling the police. And it was just so quick, I didn't know what to do. And she was like, get off the fire escape. So we got off and we apologized to her, and she just went back into her shop, and it was very weird. And we didn't know we couldn't be on the fire escape, and we weren't gonna climb or anything, we're just gonna take a picture. And so we went to go sit down, and this cop car pulls up, and he pulls up towards us, and other than me about to cry and throw up because I was actually nervous I was gonna get arrested, I noticed he looked a lot like Marco Rubio, so interesting fact. After that, he told us that it's trespassing and we can't technically be there and he's not gonna take us in. And then after that, the county made a big sign next to the fire escape saying you can't climb it. It's trespassing because of us. That's my story.
Hi, I'm Ellie Newman. I'm 16 years old. I am 5 foot, and I live in Columbus, Ohio. Here's my story. So I was sick. I had had a cold for a few days, so I was going to the doctor's office, and I'm low-key scared of elevators. I know that's weird, but I just don't like them. So I was going up the stairs, and it was the middle of winter, so it was really cold, and I had my hands in my pockets. And I was walking up the stairs, and I fell, and I hit my eye on the corner of the stairs, and I immediately, my eye swelled up, really, really fast and turned bright purple. And so, but I was at the doctor's office, which is great timing, right? Something like that's gonna happen. So I just went in and they looked at my eye and everything, and my eye stretched out really far and was bright purple, and I couldn't open it. And so they immediately sent me over to the hospital, and I went to the hospital and I had to get a ton of x-rays to see if I broke bones in my face. And luckily I did not. But so after that I went to the dollar store and I went and bought these really cute sunglasses, and they actually didn't fit on my face because my eye stretched out so far. But I had a black eye for half a year. So, but I'm all good now, so thank you.
Hi, I'm Isabella Ronchetti. I'm 15, I'm 5'8", and I currently am living in Charlottesville, Virginia. So, I'm supposed to tell a story. Well, this happened pretty recently, but towards the end of this last school year, we were having our end-of-year assembly. Everyone was there, and there's always been a little hole, maybe 2 inches in the center of the floor, and I've always noticed it and wondered, what is that hole doing there? And we were having our end-of-year assembly, and I noticed a little movement in the area of the hole, and I looked more carefully, and there was a bird coming out of the hole in the floor. And the assembly is in the basement, so I was really confused. And apparently there's some sort of secret basement under there, but I don't think anyone ever found the bird, so there's a bird somewhere in the school, and it really scared me, so yeah, that's my story.
Good to go? Hi, I'm Charlie Danger Rusk. I'm 6'1" and 16 years old. I live in Lenox, Massachusetts. And I have a story for you. So, a couple of years ago, it was Halloween, and I was out with some of my friends, and the town that I live in has this river with this bridge, and the bridge isn't very big, but it kind of has this nice arch over the top that's very easy to climb. And it was very late at night, so I didn't realize how high it was. I'm like, I'm just gonna walk up it. And I did with some friends, but it was all cool. I got to the top, and then I looked down, and it's like 60 feet down. So I started freaking out. And then to make stuff worse, all of a sudden in the distance, I see these flashing blue and red lights, and I'm like, oh my god. And it's coming closer and closer. Like, it's like definitely a police car comes up. And I'm like, I did not mean for this to happen. Like, I just thought I was like looking at the view. And then it pulls right up, and I'm like, I'm completely screwed. And I look behind me, and because it's Halloween, the guy behind me happens to be wearing an all-black costume with a big cape, and he just puts his arms out, and I'm completely invisible. And I jumped right off, and everybody was fine. Thanks so much.
Hi, my name is Lucy Russing. I'm 17 years old. I'm approximately 5'6". I've been 5'6" for the last 3 years. And I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina. Last fall, my brother and I went on a trip to visit my stepsister in Ithaca, New York. Yes, in Ithaca, New York. And while we were staying with her, we were sitting in her kitchen. It's a she has a teeny tiny apartment on the outskirts of town. And we're sitting in her kitchen, and she just leans over the table while we're having dinner and says, "You guys want to hear a story?" And we're like, "Sure, this is great." And we're like, "Whatever." She's like, "All right. A long, long time ago, there was 4 great clans of Scotsmen. One was the head clan, ruled over all the others. And the king of this great Scotsman's clan said, 'I am very lonely. Let's have a party.' So he invited all the other clansmen to this party. And all the clans came together. And they're rambunctious, and they're having a great time. There's food, and there's wine, and women, and children, and lots of fun things. And after so long, about an hour, 2 hours, the king stands up, and the room goes silent. He says, 'I am the greatest Scotsman of all. Who dares challenge me?' And one of the clansmen stands up. He says, 'I will challenge you.' So they brought forth a weight, and they lifted his kilt, and they tied it to what they found there. And they waited, and lo, the weight rose. The men cheered, the women swooned, and the children waved little flags, and the band played Scotland the Great. And they all went back to eating and drinking. The music kept playing. And after a little while, a few more hours, the king stood up again and he said, 'Who dare challenge me?' And the second clansman stood up. He said, 'I'll challenge you. Bring forth a 10-pound weight.' And they brought the weight, and they lifted his kilt, and they tied it to what they found there. And lo, the weight rose. The men cheered, the women swooned, and the children waved little flags, and the band played Scotland the Great. They all went back to eating and drinking. And after a little while longer, the third clansman stood up. He said, 'This is all well and good, but I am the greatest Scotsman of all, and I will prove it. Bring me a 15-pound weight.' And they brought the weight, and they lifted his kilt, and they tied it to what they found there. And lo, the weight rose. The men cheered, the women swooned, and the children waved little flags, and the band played Scotland the Great. And they all went back to drinking and partying. It's getting into the morning hours. And finally, the king stands up and he says, 'Ha! Fools! I'm the king, and I'm gonna prove it. Bring me a 30-pound weight.' And the room fell silent again. And they brought the weight. They lifted his kilt, and they tied it to what they found there. And lo, the weight rose. The men swooned, the women cheered, and the children waved little flags, and the band played God Save the Queen.
Hi, my name is Paris Thackeray. I'm 16 years old and I am 5'2". Okay, so my story, I was in Palau. It's a tiny island near the Philippines and Australia. We were there on spring break. It was junior high. I was there with Charlie because that's where my sister was born. So we were there to adopt her, and we took a day, like a day trip out onto the ocean to all these different islands. And one of these islands happened to be infested with sharks in the water, but they had many people working there that were like, oh, they're like dogs, they're like puppies. You just go in the water and you pet them. You just play with them. And they were purposely getting them to go near people by throwing chum in the water and fish. And so you're supposed to go swimming with these sharks, and I'd never gone swimming with sharks before. And I look at Charlie and I'm like, you gonna get in the water? He's like, how about you get in the water first? None of us knew who to get in the water first, and then all of a sudden my mom just picks me up and throws me in. And I hit the water, and there's just like all these black tips and white tip sharks just zooming around, and I have no idea what to do. I have goggles on, but that was it. And I get out of the water and just start screaming at my mom, like, are you trying to kill me? And she looks at me and goes, I love you. Just test it for me first, and then maybe I'll get in. And so then Charlie willingly jumps in. And then my mom never got in the water because she said that it was safer for the children than it was for the adults. And we just spent the whole time just running around, and the guy would bring the sharks to us and was like, here, pet them, they're dogs. And we would just sit there and pet sharks for about 30 minutes. So it was fun, but terrifying.